Um, Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is like the second EdTalk presented to you by CIGAM and MIECA, or educational talk aimed to leverage your education by presenting you with the stories of individuals who have used their passions to find success in life. So both CIGAM and MIECA believe in the power of education, and we hope that this EdTalk will motivate and inspire you to pursue your dreams and find success in the path you choose to take. So let's first hear a little bit about our host, like me and Compete. So CIGAM itself, like it's an educational consulting agency that specializes in supporting students who wish to pursue higher education abroad. We provide a wide range of services at reasonable prices, such as strategy and writing consultation, exam preparation, and life abroad support. We are also well versed in supporting motivated students who wish to pursue a double degree program, which is a program that is quite like a really cost efficient and provides a student with two meaningful alumni networks. And then frequent compete. Can you tell us a little bit about MAC education and its extension of it, like the MIECA, which is specialized in study abroad as well?
Okay, so hi, I'm Pete. You call me Pete. Well, MAC Education, we are an education solution provider. So we provide education solutions to schools, to teachers, to students and parents. So we have quite a lot of products on hand. Our main business, we publish textbooks. We also do teacher training to ensure that teachers have the right tools and equipments and methods to teach students in class. But we started off as a tutoring school, and we're actually exploring how to get back into that business as well. And on the side, we also do education consulting. So we provide personal education counseling to kids who wants to go study abroad, and even kids who need help guiding them with a higher education. So yeah, that's basically what we do, a total solution in education.
Thank you, Compete, for sharing about MAC education and MIECA. We will hear more about them throughout this talk. So today we have a really special guest speaker here with us, P'Peachy Picharatch Phunthawonnawin. P'Peachy. So P'Peachy is like an edutainer, founder of Englicious Academy, and also like general manager at Racha Island Resort. She has been teaching English to Thai students for 17 years and still counting. Before establishing her own language academy, she was a highly recognized English teacher at Englicious Academy, helping millions of students, I hope so, like lots of it, get into their dreams universities. Currently, she is turning her passion for teaching and combined with the humor and understanding into a successful career to inspire and motivate Thai students to excel at English. So I would break this EdTalk into 4 parts. The first one would be passion in language and teaching. Second would be passion in entrepreneurship. The third one would be passion in making an impact. And the fourth one would be Q&A session for our audience. So let's begin with the first part, passion in language and teaching. Why do you love language so much, P'Peachy?
Thank you for the question. Actually, I have to say thank you for having me, because this is my first time talking about myself. Like I told you guys before, I've been talking about you, about your goals, your inspiration, your aspiration, and everything. But never have I really read, really talk about myself. And so this is my first platform and my first time talking about myself. And regarding talking about myself, the question actually reflects a lot, like give me a reflection a lot, like why do I love language so much, and when did I realize that I love language? Actually, and what about you? If I ask you, when did you love your language? Do you love language, like English language, May?
I love it thanks to you, by the way, because like I studied with you since I was really young. And
Wow.
then we develop it from like me as a student and you're as a teacher, and then we become friends. And then more likely like it's like I grew up with you. So
Wow. Oh, thank you. That warms my heart very much. But yes, but when I was like starting from the very young, I don't really like know that English is my forte, or I love English. But I found it very funny because my school, St. Joseph Convent, um, assigned the work for students, all students, in the school to to get the marks from the formative test by finding the English song, any English song, and sing in front of the class. Not like each one of them, but you have to gather as a group, like 50 students, like maybe 10 groups or something like that, and we have to find song and be like, okay, which song that we should sing in front of the class, and everyone have to practice together. And then I remember when I was in maybe grade 5 or 6, the school assigned everyone in school have to sing a Michael Jackson song. Because that year, Michael Jackson was coming to Thailand to have the concert. So funny! And everybody in the school have to sing Heal the World. It's kind of fun, like, okay, we have to sing. And I dare you to ask, like, the student, like, around my age at St. Joseph School, everyone can sing this song because of school. And after that, we like, okay, we like, since then, by the way, I don't listen to Thai song anymore because we like kind of have fun with friends, finding songs, and then we like kind of like English song since then. And then when you like English song, you like the boy bands, you like I mentioned Britney Spears and everything. So maybe because of that, I kind of think. But when I come to think again, or maybe because I feel like I enjoy studying it very much. I feel like, well, it's fun. It's not boring. It made me like feel like this is it. This is what I like. So maybe because of childhood experience, maybe because of I just enjoyed studying it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because of many things, it combines it to me this day. But the very important part that I think it should be the theme of today is when I come across this quotation from Mark Twain. I don't know that you guys have heard about it or not, but it impacted me a lot. Mark Twain, he said, the two most important days of your life. There are 2 days. The 2 most important days of your life. First is the day that you were born, of course. That you're born is important. But the second is the day you find out why you were born, why you are here.
Okay.
Why you're here in this world. So I think as a guest speaker that you asked me to come and talk, I think this is a food for thought for everyone here to think that, what is the reason why we are here in this world, not in this group, So this is very important. And it's very important for me to introduce you another concept after this is the Ikigai concept. We will go through that later. But why do I love language so much? I cannot pinpoint why, but maybe it's many things combined.
Can I add something to that about finding the passion? So, I went to study abroad when I was 13, and in Thailand, I was an average Thai student. I got good grades, but that's what people expected anyway. So when I went to study abroad, the main subject that I had problem with was English because I couldn't speak English back then. I went to Saathit Prasanmit, and we learned ABC in grade 4. So that's pretty late. I went there when I was 13. I know grammar, I know words, but I couldn't speak it and I cannot form a sentence. But the first time I joined English class with Canadian students, I had so much fun in class. And when I look back, I think what matters or what gave you that passion and inspiration is basically how the teachers teach you that particular subject. It could be English, it could be Thai, it could be science, but if they're able to make it understandable easily to you and relate to you, you find it much more interesting. And I think that's what good teachers can really do to all of us, and I just want to bring it in because I think that matters a lot too. And of course, when we're interested in that subject, we can find it a lot more interesting when we listen to music, let's say for English, you know. So I think that's a really big part for many students too in finding inspiration in their life. So through the teachers. So perhaps that's what May got from Kru P'Peachy as well, you know. So I think that's really important. I just want to add.
Yep. Thank you for that. P'Peachy, I heard that like you never study abroad. Your English is immaculate. How did you become so good at English?
Yeah, that was the question that many people ask me. Not just students. Students don't really ask about this, but since now I work in the hotel industry, and many like guests, like tourists, ask me like, where do you come from? And I'm like, Thai, and they're like, no, you're not. You're like, you lose all your accent. Like, well, I lose my Thai accent, but I have some kind of accent. And they're like, yeah, they don't feel like I'm Thai anymore. And I say, maybe because I'm a teacher. I learn English, I know English, so I blah blah blah. And they're like, no, not just that. You look so worldly, you know, like you look so cosmopolitan, like from the city, something like that. And I'm like, yes, I'm from Bangkok, that's why. And they're like, okay, it makes sense, and blah blah blah. Why is it good? I think because, well, if I start from what I have learned, they said people, if they start learning other language, like second language, third language, even like 4, 5, like any language, before 12, 13, something like that, you can get like very good at that particular language. But you have to get exposed a lot of that language before 12 or 13. They call critical period hypothesis, something like that. So maybe once again, go back to my school. They exposed me a lot about English, and plus, I think because of my family, I never learned abroad, but we travel a lot. Like every year, like every school break, we have to travel like abroad. So I kind of have to use English to some extent. So I think maybe because of that, and I really feel like English helped me get through. Like when you go abroad, you want to get something, you have to speak, and English is like, well, we have to use. When you have to use, you have to use. So it forced me to use English since I was young.
From what you talk about, I can definitely say that your passion is English. And the same with the CIGAM. Believe that people who follow their passions and work hard towards what they want will definitely find success in those paths. And you are a great example of this. And on that note, how does Mac Education and MIECA support students in finding their passion and pursuing them through education?
Thanks for the question. So actually what we do for MIECA, where we counseling students to go abroad, is quite unique. So first of all, we're not just an education counseling service. We provide counseling service for students. What we realize is that there are usually a different expectation or different goals between parents and children. So, for example, a student may want to become, let's say, a product designer, but the parents want him to become, a businessman or an engineer or a doctor. So, what we need to do is actually we try to find out first why the parents want their children to be certain things. And usually it comes down to the fact that the parents want to make sure that their kids have, a stable job. But we also know that nowadays you can have a career in almost anything. So we need to find a way to encourage parents to look for other options too, or to be more open-minded. And at the same time, we talk to the kids and try to figure out why you want to become certain things, why you want to be a designer. And if they want to be a designer, how can they make business or make money out of that career? So we talk these through with the kids and with the parents, and we try to find a way to merge the two together to make both goals, to make them share a goal. And that's what I think is the main strength that we do in our service. And it's been quite a good success in my opinion. And for us, a success means both the parents and the children who go abroad, they come back quite happy, and the kids have good career after their graduation. So that's kind of what we do and what we try to achieve in this business. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Kun Pete, for that. And P'Peachy, you have turned your passion for English into a successful career, so they can achieve your goals and give back to the community like you have been doing. Do you want to talk a little more about why you enjoy supporting students, specifically Thai, to improve their English?
Thank you for that question. It's actually my passion. Well, I consider myself lucky that I find my passion like very early. For me it's early. I don't know, this young age, maybe they find it earlier because nowadays everything's so fast. Let me take you back. Like I told you, I found it very like early because I was a tutor since I was in junior in university in a bachelor degree. I didn't even finish my university. I became tutor already. And tutor is actually my first job. And I found it in my first job. How lucky am I? Well, third year, you've been there before. You know that when you're in third year, you're in junior, you feel like you want to go out. You feel like you want to try your expertise somewhere. You want to know that what you learn is useful or not. So you go out. I went out as well, like the other junior students. I think one of my friends, I think you remember her, Pimot tutor. Pimot is a tutor as well in concept.
Yep.
She was my friend in my literature class at ABAC. I studied at ABAC. And we just talk, chit chat. And she's like, I applied for a job. She said that in the class, like I was in the group. Really what? Like at concept. Like, oh, I know that. I know that concept. And she's like, yeah, you go like apply for what? Tutor. I never thought of myself being tutor before. Never. And I'm like, really? Just try. She's like, just try, go together. Like, okay, let's try. And then we applied for it. And then I still remember walking that branch, the Siam Square, and hand out my resume with her. And then the next week, I think, we have to do the exam, pass the test, and then we have to pass the teaching test, and we have to pass the interview, like panel interview, like with 10 people interview. It's fun, and we get through, and I try my first job, being teacher, without knowing that I like it, without knowing it become my life. I just try like junior student. And my first class, I still remember, My first class is November the 10th, 2546. I somehow I remember in Buddhist era. I don't remember
You wrote the
exactly
date, the year. That's crazy.
in what year, but
dear.
2546. My first class is on Wednesday. I still remember that. 40 students. I teach vocabulary class. And my first student, one of them I still remember until now, and we're still friends. And it's your รุ่นพี่ พี่มิ่ง remember พี่มิ่ง
Yeah, remember him.
He was one of my first student in that class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and now he's like PhD student.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I taught 2 hours. Prepare salon, prepare like a week for that, and then I lost my voice that day, and I got down. I got out of the stage. I feel so good. I felt like, wow, that's amazing. How I can explain to students. How can I do that? So I got, I kind of like it. And then when I teach some more, and back then, 17 years ago, we teach like a machine. We teach like crazy. I taught like maybe 10 classes a week.
Wow.
Three classes for Saturday and 3 classes for Sunday, and another 4 days. Like we teach practically every day, like machine. Repeat the same thing 10 times.
Oh dear.
It's like, I don't know, it's amazing experience, and it makes you become very good at what you're doing because you repeat it like how many years. And then, well, I knew it. This is my job. I love it. I enjoy what I like. I enjoy what I pass on, and that's the reason why I feel like, okay, I'm gonna go this way. I'll become a teacher the rest of my life. And then later on, I found out the Mark Twain quote: "The 2 most important days of your life." And I asked myself, now I know why I'm here. I was born to be a teacher. The most important day is the day I was born, and I know already why I'm here, to pass on the knowledge. Maybe I'm not the best teacher, but I like what I'm doing, and I feel like students like what I'm doing. That's why I feel like I'm so lucky. Later on, I found out what relates to the Mark Twain quote is Ikigai.
Yep. And what about you, PP? Why do you like English? Like after Prasanmit, and then like you was sent in Scotland, I believe so. Since the 13th.
No, it was Canada actually.
Oh, you're in Canada.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it would be a language of communication for many things, but what made me like English or enjoyed it was, I remember my first English classroom with normal Canadian students, because when I first got there, I need to do ESL, or English as Second Language, but that took me half a year, and then I was integrated into a normal class. I was told to read Frankenstein. Have you guys read it?
Yeah.
And of course, after you finish the book, there'll be a test. And I thought, hey, I'm from Thailand. I'm a good Thai student. I remember everything and what happened and who did what. So at the test, I was like, I'm so sure I'm gonna score this test like 100%. Because Thai kids, we remember everything, right? มานีไปทำอันนี้มานะไปทำอันนี้หมาของโตอะไรนะเจ้าโตเป็นหมาของอะไรก็ว่าไปคือwe memorize everything, but when I went to the test, it was like, why did Mary Shelley write this book back in that year? And I was like, okay, how do I answer that? But when it's like not a multiple choice, it's actually an open-end question. Or how did the story reflect the social condition back in the day? And that's when I realized that, wow, I need to think about it and not just, regurgitate what I learned. So that's what really inspired me to be more passionate about language, because it's not just about memorizing a story. In languages, when you study it, there's so many things that are hidden between the lines, Or when you talk about music and lyrics, there are classes where we have to take our favorite song and deconstruct it and try to analyze what it's saying. And I remember the song that I chose. It was a hip hop song kind of thing, R&B. And my English was quite poor. And I chose the song, and when we deconstructed in class, we realized it's talking about sex, and everyone laughed at me. So that was a very memorable experience, and it really tells me that there are so many things hidden between the lines, and in any languages. And I think it takes a great teacher or a great method of teaching to inspire you to learn that. So for me, I think that's these kind of experience also accumulate and make me passionate about language too, not just English but in Thai as well. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So the next question regarding your English, and you learn how to love the language or how to master language. Is it applied to your current job or like your current company or the field that you're working in right now?
Of course, I think it's really important because I think the world nowadays is just such a globalized space for business, for everything. So even for doing even you travel to town you go to a Western restaurant nowadays, or even a Thai restaurant. If you go around Sathorn or Sukhumvit, you actually get to meet waiters or waitresses who do not speak Thai at all. So English has become a lot more prevalent in our daily life. But yes, for business, definitely I believe that you will have some competitive advantage if you know English, and if you can communicate it well. And there's a difference to understanding English and understanding business English. So on top of learning the language, I think you need to learn the proper way to communicate in business too, because there are certain etiquettes, how to respond to emails and all that. So I think it's very important, yes. And not just English, I would say. Some parents or some family might be doing business with Chinese people or other culture. So I think learning those languages are as important. But it just depends on the environment you be in, where you be. Or what things you be doing. Let's say if you want to work in the business, in the service field, let's say in hotels or hospitality, Chinese or Japanese could be very useful too. So,
let me put in that part about work, because I know I know Thai, I know English, I know a little bit of Cantonese because my mom used to work in Hong Kong, and I go with her every school break, so I know Cantonese as well. But when I work in hotel business, what I know, English, is helpless. Well, to some extent, yes, but sometimes Phuket is like Chinese invasion, like the mainland China, like Chinese people. So they don't speak Cantonese as well, and they don't speak English at all. And only one time that I feel useless is on my own island. I cannot speak to the guests at all when the Chinese invasion. But when after a while we have a European back, I found myself useful again because I cannot talk to anyone. So I feel like, my God, I never thought that English can be useless at that time. So I feel like I have to learn something more than English. So I learned some Chinese now. I forgot already with my workers, because I have one worker. He's Russian, but he's fluent in Chinese. So I have like and in English. This is very good. Everybody hire him because of like the power of language. So I don't think language is a language itself. Language is an opportunity. If you're ready, if you have it ready in you, you kind of welcome all opportunity into your life. For example, I have English. Well, now I'm not that proud of having English because, well, I told you I found myself useless, but it opens many doors for me. Back then in 2010, 2009, actually at the end of 2009, remember I was in the competition, like
Biggest
Loser.
Yeah, in Singapore. Right?
Asia, yeah, but I have to shoot in Singapore and Malaysia. It's like funny show. Like now you can still like Google in YouTube and you still see me. So funny. 10 years ago, they like it's a program that for people who want to lose weight. It's very famous actually. I think P'Peachy, you have heard of Biggest Loser, right? Have you heard of the program Biggest Loser in America, in Canada?
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yes.
It's a program that people like work out a lot, like big people, like heavy, like serious, morbidly overweight. They gathered and they work out like crazy, and then who lose as many and the most, the winner, loser. So they decided to have like Biggest Loser Asia. So they did the audition around Asia, and they came to Thailand. And for some funny reason, my cousin billed me my info and then sent me to try. And well, first they accept me because I have English. I have a good English, because on the show you cannot like speak Thai and have subtitle all the time, because they don't have the budget to do the subtitle for only you. Everybody come from every country in Asia. First thing first, you have to have good communicative English. So that's why I got picked. One of the reasons why I got picked. So if I don't have the English ready, that opportunity would slip away, right? So you don't know when the opportunity gonna come to you. That's why it's called opportunity. It's don't call routine or something. So if you are ready, if with you, so you kind of open every door that comes to your way. You don't lose it. So English, like language, to me is not a language. It's an opportunity.
Great answer. And why did you choose to study masters in applied linguistics for teaching? And were your expectations before pursuing this degree? And were they met?
This is a very good question, because it's actually follow up what I just told you guys, that when I was lucky to find a job, and then when I worked at Enconcept for 5 years, I feel like it's good. I love it, but I feel like like I told you, I've been teaching the same thing for 10 times, like every week by week. I would teach it until I don't even want any material now. Everything is in me, in my head. I can teach practically anything about English. Just tell me, I can write down, I can teach you right now, something like that. And then I question myself, what's more should I know to better myself as a teacher? So because I know it's like my job, I love it, I want to be good at it, like better and better, because I believe people can better yourself all the time, every day. The people have no limitation. you can be better than yourself today, like yesterday, today better, something like that. So I find try to find like which area is supposed to be English or teachers or something like that. So I found it. I'm in love with language, so I want to go for linguistics. And then there are only two university back at the time is Chulalongkorn University and Mahidol University. But Chulalongkorn University is the pure linguistic, and Mahidol University is applied linguistics. So the linguistic itself is like the study of language, but when you put the word applied, it's like how you use that knowledge and apply to the situation. So it's actually learning about English and how to teach it, like to apply in various situations. So that's why I feel like, wow, this is interesting. And then I go for it. You asked me, was it like what I expect to be? Of course, because I do the study before I apply for it. I actually like look it up. What is it, and what will I get from this program? And actually, when they interviewed me, they're like, "Oh, why you want to enroll to this faculty?" And I explained as well, because I look it up and I like it. And they're like, "Do you know that they have another program in Chulalongkorn University?" I said yes. And they asked me, "Why you choose here to apply here at Mahidol, not Chulalongkorn University?" And that's what I answered, because it's applied. I don't want peer. I want like how to apply to the real situation. And second is closer to my house, Mahidol University. And they're like, okay. And then yeah, it's very good. I love it. The teachers are very, very good. They're the teacher who teach how to be teachers. So they're very good.
Great. Thank you for your answer. And I would like to move to the entrepreneurship part, like about your passion in entrepreneurship. You are not the only teacher, but also the founder of Englicious Academy. And after so many years of teaching at Englicious Academy, why did you decide to become an entrepreneur and start an Englicious Academy?
I don't want to be the entrepreneur. I know how to teach. I don't know how to run the business. What I do well is teaching. So one of my students, you know him, he like asked me like, you should open your own academy, you blah blah blah. And I still like, no, let me just teach. I don't want to do anything but teach. And then when it comes to life, that your life have to change, have to step up, you have to step out of your comfort zone. The life tell you so. And concept has like have issued the policy to change the way to teach and to change the way of pretty much the way of teaching and like everything that I believed in terms of because like Anton said, like they sing a lot, they have fun, they want students to feel like English is alive. Do you remember that? I truly believe so. I feel like English is fun. English is like what make you feel alive. But they don't want to be alive anymore. They want to be not so alive. They want to be professional, which is good for them. But it's not good for me. It's not that I don't want to be professional. I still feel like English is so much fun. So that's why it's Englicious. Like English is delicious. When it's delicious, you want to eat it again. You have fun. You feel like you enjoy doing it so much. Something like that. So my answer is it's not that what I want to be entrepreneur, but when the life says so, I have to be. Gotta do what I gotta do. That's why.
And you do it great. And what was one of the biggest challenges you faced during the processes, and how did you overcome that?
This is what I want to tell you. The passion is one thing, but along the passion, it's so many things that you don't like, but you still have to do it to achieve the ends. Along the way, you will find a hardship. Along the way, you will find so many obstacles. But if you stay true to yourself and you know what you will get, you have to go, put yourself through. So, like I told you, I don't know anything. I don't know. I just know how to teach and interact with people and with students. I don't know how to, how to promote. I don't know how to set up a company. I don't know so many things. So I have help. Luckily, I have help. But because of the trust in help, I got cheated a lot. No, well, it's not that a lot, but it's a lot in terms of like startup. So because I don't know about money, how to do the enroll, transfer, make it like the code name. When you enroll for the tutor course, you have like, oh, this code, that code, doing that with the bank stuff. Well, so I learned from the mistake that I cannot just trust people with money, and then so I passed that stage. But along the way, there's so many obstacles, but I'm still happy. I know that I got cheated and everything, but well, now I know. Now I learn.
And how you overcome that, the feeling or the failure or the disappointment that you feel toward those obstacles? Like you feel that, okay, you're faced with the cheating stuff, and then you realize it, you found out about that, and then how could you just like pick yourself and then just move on?
It's so funny that I don't really mad at my partner that he cheated on me, because actually when you quit being the employer, employee, become like worker, and you become the entrepreneur, you come out with a lot of hope and okay, I can do it. I know I can do it. I know I can teach. I know I can achieve it. The business gonna be I don't mean rich. I just go well and everything. So I came out with hope. When I got cheated, before I knew, I thought that I was not that good. I cannot make it. I failed. That part made me so upset with myself. Like, oh, I'm not that good. I thought I was good. I thought I can pull this through, but no, I couldn't. And then after that, I found out I was cheated, like almost 2 million. And then I like, oh, actually, I could do it. I was not like fail. I feel like, oh, so actually I could do it. That's how I feel. I don't feel like, oh, I'm mad at him, he like cheated on me. I just feel like I was a flaw. But now I feel like, okay, I'm not that flaw. I just got cheated. That's it. That's how I feel.
thank you so much for sharing experience of your learning and growing from your challenges. And compete can you just address something that MIECA is an extension of a Mac Education and also a well-known textbook and digital publication company. What challenges have you faced in running Mac Education?
Can it be political?
Yes.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. So I think we grew quite fast in the past 10 years because we started doing publishing textbooks, and these textbooks are being used in the schools around the country, and it's approved by the Ministry of Education. Now our business had been too dependent on the national budget, so the past few years, as we all know, economy hasn't been great, and the textbook budget had been delayed. So my business has been affected greatly. It's basically, I need to diversify my business, and of course there are many other challenges. So for example, since we don't have the budget has been cut for the third year, and this year we ran into COVID. I faced the biggest obstacle, the biggest challenge in my business life in May, when I had to lay off my staff. We print a lot of books in the beginning of the year, and we usually sell them by May, and we get enough cash to pay to return to normal operation. But this year, the money never came because of COVID and because of many other factors. So we know that we had to scale down, and by doing that, it means we have to lay off a lot of staff, and that was the biggest decision to make in my life. It's not just me; it's other people's lives too. Some have been working with us for longer than before I was born, so that was a really tough call, but it had to be done. And the thing is, if you communicate your plan really well, and if you share information with them, they understand the situation. Nonetheless, it was still a tough challenge for me, I think, and I really hope that no one else has to go through this. Doing layoff is not the nicest thing to do. It kills a part of your soul. So that was the toughest part of my career, I think. Money you can find again, but friendship or companionship, and that's really tough to let go. And so try to do everything you can, and let that be the last options for you, I would say. So yep. And okay, just to add a bit more, doing business, you'll be cheated, this will happen. Make sure you have contracts.
Yes.
So any of you who are entrepreneurs who wants to do business with friends, family, whatever, make sure you have contracts. It's not because you don't trust them. And if they say, hey, why do you need a contract? You don't trust me? Tell them it's not about them. It's good for both people to have contracts. That's what you need to have. It's to save both of you from falling out as friends or as family members even. Or with your writers, with teachers who write books for you, make contracts, do everything with a contract, and it will save your ass.
Agree.
One more thing is I realized that MIECA is really focusing on boarding school.
Yes.
But most of the people that go study abroad during master, but why boarding school? And how is it different?
I believe going abroad. So most people think they're going abroad because they want to have a better higher education or to learn English when they go abroad. But actually, what I believe is that it's a typical thing for Thai parents to treat their children, to protect their kids. It's instinctive, right? We want to give the best to our kids. But sometimes we forget that we are overprotecting them. In English, we call it helicopter parents.
Oh yeah.
You must go to this tutoring school. You must do that. You must go to ballet, piano. Don't eat that; it's not good for you. Or don't do this; it's not clean. Oh my God, you need to take a medication now. Parents do everything for their kids now. And what we sometimes forget to think is that some kids are 18. They never bought their own underwear. They never bought their own toothpaste. Honestly,
Never.
like many kids 18, then parents still buy toothpaste for them when they run out.
Yes.
And so when you send your kids abroad, actually the kids grow up a lot more. Like I remember getting lost at 13 walking to a mall. You need to solve that problem yourself. Ask people where to get back to the school, and
That's true.
It's problem solving. It's all these things that you learn from being abroad. I think that's why I encourage parents to send their kids abroad, even just for high school, and then come back to Thailand for university. Because I think at least half a year or 1 year abroad, if not more, can really shift the mentality of the children and of the parents. Thai parents don't really trust their kids to do things, so they do everything for them. But it's a cycle. So if they do everything for them, the kids don't know how to do things for themselves. When you go abroad, you don't have everyone doing things for you. You have to make your own bed. You have to sometimes cook your own meal. All these things you learn, and you grow up a lot to become a good adult. You learn a lot of skills that are really important. So that's why I really encourage high school or boarding school education when kids are younger. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience of learning and growing from those challenges.
So I'm sorry guys, I have to go. I have another conference call with abroad. But yes, I mean you guys can have the Q&A and I'm sorry. But,
yeah, sure.
Okay, nice meeting you, P'Peachy. Nice having you all listen.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then CIGAM also believe that every student should have this positive mindset toward failings, whether it is their studies or works. Learning from the failures will transform them into opportunities that P'Peachy already mentioned. That is why CIGAM believe that students must put great effort in working toward their dreams and universities. Throughout the consultation, we focus on supporting students to maximize and expand their potentials, instead of feeding them with rules and limitations to follow. And challenges are inevitable, and every ambitious person will experience them really often. To this part of entrepreneurship, I think it's really a lot of resourceful and really helpful for the younger generation. I'm sure with that. So on top of that, I would like to introduce the passion in making an impact. So let's move on to some tips and tricks on learning English to create the impact, not just only for yourself, but for others as well. So what do you think are the biggest challenges that Thai students face when learning English? And what would you suggest as the first step to overcoming those challenges?
Actually, I want to mention about what P'Peachy said. He expressed many times that it's about teacher, right? He said if a good teacher can inspire, good teacher can can make the class fun and everything. And I think this is what the role of the teacher. The teacher should encourage people, especially students. I don't think it's about students now. But anyway, as I studied from my master degree, they said in the theory that the inspiration, because we teacher actually learn how to motivate students. Seriously, we have to learn how to motivate them, how to encourage them, because like I told you, in Thailand, mostly teacher is an authority. You see teacher as senior, that you cannot object, you cannot say no, you cannot disobey, something like that. But actually from the West Western people, they think that teacher is just like the sharer, the knowledge sharer, and the one who has more experience in some way. Maybe students have more experience in other ways. For example, like gaming. I don't know at all. So students have more knowledge about that. They can teach me about that, you know. And so we the enhancer. We are the you know, facilitators, helping them to accomplish what they want. So you said like maybe they have to do something to have like motivation in learning. Well, they said there are two factors in the motivation: internal factor and external factor. External factor is not student, right? The student themselves is like has that internal factor. The internal factor is like if they see it as the tool to achieve something, they want to learn that. For example, they want to study like to become a doctor, medicine faculty. So they have to study the something about doctor. They know that okay, if they learn it, they will become the doctor. They can take the test about the doctor efficiency or something like that. So they know they have to use it. So they learn it, you know, something useful. But they have to know it's useful for them in the future. They will learn it. External factor is it's interesting class. The teacher can, you know, can present it in a very fun way, in a very interesting way, or in the way that the thing is important for them. So it's 50-50. But for me, teacher play a very major part in introducing many things to students. So I really like agree with Kun Pete that if we can have the good material, we can train the teacher to have this in mind, that you are not authority. You are the, you know, like you know when we learn in Thai and we sing the song Kru is the Rua Jang. So who, like teacher is the facilitator, the helper of student. You are not like the authority, like everybody have to like fear you, something like that. So if we change the perception about themselves, I think the teacher will help student to achieve that goals more than today.
Thank you for those great tips. The next question would be, what are your aspirations for the future of Thai education and English literacy?
Hi. The aspiration, well, sound very far, but well, for Thai education, I learned this as well, and they said it's not about us. Normally, it's not about us. We are just one part of the system. What we can do to change the system is making more research. Making more research that is not working. The system is crumbling. The student is like, you know, rise up in arms and rally and ask for their rights. There must be something wrong. We have to accept it and just change. Like maybe now we're in the process of transition. I hope well, the minister of education should come from the people in the field of education. They should know. I myself teach English many grades. I teach from like primary school, secondary school. I teach like even the medicine student in Mahidol University, and they still study like present simple tense.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows it like by heart already. Why you still keep repeating that? I taught like, you know, Sirirat doctors present simple tense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel ashamed presenting it to them. I feel like they passed so many like hard, difficult lessons, and now I have to teach them present simple tense. That's like embarrassing. I was a teacher, professor at the university as well. So, well, first you start to accept it that it's a failure. It's not like total failure, but because how can you be you? I am here right now, but it can be better. You have to accept that everything changed now. We can be better. We have to change, to update. We have to up to trend.
But again, like actually, like the current minister has his own like school. So
yes.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We're coming to the last part of this EdTalk. What are you doing currently, and what is your motto in life?
Well, I'm both like a teacher. I still have to teach like the day after tomorrow. I teach like in the hall with I hope it's going to be 400 students, and it's going to be recorded and like put on TV. So I'm still a teacher, and I'm as a GM, general manager at Racha Island Resort here in Phuket.
Yep. And do you find that your previous experience as a tutor and entrepreneur has helped you in your current work?
Well, as a tutor of English, especially, so I know a lot of English. I mean, I don't have to teach my guests about syntax or phonetics or something, but I can communicate. Second, being a teacher or tutor, I have to deal with people all the time. So I like talking to people. It makes me happy. So that's why I'm not like really, well, I kind of am a guest relation. I talk to guests, I help them with their holidays and everything. And I manage the workers in the hotel as well. Well, I think the key word here is adaptability. You have to be you have to change when, well, not change yourself, but you have to adapt to the current situation, because my situation now, the teaching is like not the same. I don't have to teach like 10 classes a week anymore. Everything moved to online, so I have more free time. So I kind of help my family business here. And well, it's nothing wrong with stepping out of your comfort zone. You have to adapt to the current situation, and you'll find yourself like having fun in other area. And it's really, and it actually gives me the other perspective toward English. I don't see English as a subject anymore. Like, subject, you have to pass, you have to go to university. I see English as an opportunity. English is give you work. Like, many guides, many people who work in Phuket, they know English and they have a lot of money because they can communicate with tourists. So it's good.
Yep. And I remember that your motto in life is Ikigai. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. I think this is what you should know. Well, I come across this motto after I know about the Mark Twain, and I know this one, and I feel like, wow, what a coincidence. Ikigai came from Okinawa people. They said they want to feel good about, no, not really feel good only, that they want to know why they are here for. Iki mean life, gai mean value. So they want to find a value in their life, like the reason for being. So they have the diagram that they actually have the concept first, and they put in the Venn diagram. You have to ask yourself 4 questions. The first question is, what does the world need? What does the world need? Like right now, what does the world need? Like maybe they need the people who know many languages. Maybe the world needs people who are very good at computer stuff, IT, 5G, something like the trend right now. Second question is, what are you good at? What are you good at? It's not about what you like, but what you can do very well. What are you good at? The third question is, what do you love doing? What do you love doing? This is about your passion. What you feel like this is your life. You can do this all day. You can do this all your life. And fourth question, which can help you go through this world of materialism. What can you be paid for? So you see, this is called Venn diagram when you put everything intersected. So starting from what the world needs on the far right. And then second, what you're good at on the far left. The third one, what you love doing on the topmost. And what can you pay for? So this is like the lowest one. When you cross two sections, actually the most important one is the first one. What's the world need? People might say, oh no, what you love is the most important. I agree, but maybe what you love is not what the world needs. And therefore you will not get paid for, because no one needs that, specialty. So what you love and what you're good at, it becomes your passion. See what it intersects. What you love and the world needs, it becomes your mission in your life. What you're good at and what you're paid for, this can be your profession. This can be thing that bring money to you, but maybe you don't like it. And what you paid for and what the world needs, that is your vocation, that your job. But the best in your life, if you can find, is the four intersected together, and it is called Ikigai, the reason for living. If you can find the centered point of four questions, you will feel like you have a worthwhile life, and you know why you're here for. And I am so lucky. I got accidentally Ikigai 17 years ago. I never knew it that I got Ikigai. I never knew the word Ikigai back then. I just knew it in I think this one I know it 5 years ago, something like that. And it checked. World needs people who can communicate, teach English. Not so much now like before, but still need. And this is what I love. I think I'm good at teaching English. And I got paid for it. So teaching English is my Ikigai. For example, being a general manager at Racha Island Resort, I got paid for. I think I'm good at, not excellent, but I can do it. The world need, yeah, my family need me to do it, but it's not what I love. Am I happy doing it? I am okay doing it. But if I have to choose, I'll choose teaching all the way, through and through.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I will stop presenting this one.
Mhm.
Okay. And
So
then,
what are yours? This is what you guys the participant, maybe is a food for thought for you guys to think. Do you have you found your Ikigai? Have you found the reason for you being? I hope you found it.
we hope so. And do you have any final piece of advice on pursuing your dreams and making an impact in the society?
I believe the society, everyone in the society is the part of the system. So you don't have to impact like in the large scale, but everyone is important. So I think I pretty much sum up in what I said, Ikigai. If you find it, your Ikigai. At least find the vocation or profession first, the bottom one first, and that you will work your way through Ikigai easier. So just find it, and then you will feel like you know what you are here for, why you are here. It's not like philosophical question. It's actually why I'm here for, why you're here for. Is actually feel happy. You actually feel like you're happy that you do something good. You do something that you feel worthwhile. You feel it's priceless. It's valuable to others and to yourself.
Thank you so much, P'Peachy, for your time and for sharing your experiences and story with us. We believe that the audience have learned a great deal from your passion in language, teaching, and your experience founding the academy. The last parts of this EdTalk that I will go and move on will be a QA session for the audience. Please feel free to unmute your microphone and ask any question or type the question down in the chat features. Please keep in mind that your message are visible to all the participants. Hello.
I have one question for Kunmeta CIGAM. So what is the easiest way to get accepted into top university, like with not very high English score? And also like about the statement of purpose or cover letter, how to write like a good statement of purpose.
Yep. So basically, I think GPA is important, of course, but again, it's not like the absolute. It's not like the end of the world if you don't have like GPA 3. For some clients that I have experienced, some people have like 2.5 or even below 2.5, but still go to a decent university in the UK. There are so many options and there are so many approaches. You have to ask yourself first, it's like, do you really ready to jump and work so hard to achieve your dreams? Right? If you look just only, sometimes if you look just only a traditional way, I would call like when you apply to some certain university, like for example, you want to go to Columbia, you apply to Columbia, it's probably difficult. But there is like a double degree programs that you can go via other university. That is probably by your time, sometimes like 1 to 2 years for you to prepare and then apply to the Columbia, let's say. So with this, we call it like a double degree programs, and then it's 2 degrees and 2 alumni network. That is like also a chance for you to just get to that kind of university, but get back to like a low GPA. You can still go to, let's say, University of Bath or like some other university. It depends on like how you would say like answer during the interview, or how you polish or reflected on your SOP, statement of purpose. Like for example, for some people, the GPA is low, but they can make it up through like a GMAT or like other type of like examination, standardized one. And with the SOP, you can write down like probably you have a problem at that time that is really damaged and that damage your GPA. Like for example, would be like your depression, your family issues, or like other type of it. You can like be honest and communicate it through to the admission teams that there is my real problem, but there is reflect on a GPA. But again, I have some other thing to cover it, and to show that I'm that candidate that you should accept me to study in your great university. So that would be much more important. And of course, like with the CV and the whole portfolio itself are extremely important as well. The GPA alone it's not everything. The whole portfolio that is like the key to success in your dream university, I would say. Yep. And actually, like CIGAM also gonna launch like portfolio enhancement like this week. Like tomorrow, we will help you polish all your portfolio, CV, LinkedIn, SOP, cover letters. Whether you have like low GPA or good GPA or like really cool internship, but again, like you still need to show like some specific word or phrase or sentence to beat like the programs, let's say. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you have other questions?
There is another question in the chat.
Okay. The most common problem of all Thai students is that they can read but can't understand the meaning or can't speak. Any suggestion to overcome this stage? I think P'Peachy can answer this like really, really good. Really
Well,
experience.
Well, I feel like everybody have to pass this stage, which is open dictionary. If you have the very low, numbers of words like vocabulary in your head, you cannot understand things. So I don't agree to people like many teachers that said, oh, you don't have to open your dictionary, you just go through it and eventually you will understand. Yes, you will eventually understand, but it takes time. Just be friend with your dictionary and use it as much as you can. First stage. Now you have to, the very beginning stage, you have to know a lot of vocabulary, and then after that you can build on, you can understand more words afterwards. So this is very common. People don't use dictionary, and I teach them to memorize as much as you can first, and then after that you will feel like, oh, okay, it's much easier because you know more. I don't think it's only English. I think it's any language. You start with remember a lot of vocabulary first.
Mm-hmm. To myself, it's I was like a Thai student in a Thai school, not even in an international school back then. I can understand this. Like I can read, but I don't understand it. I didn't understand the meaning. I have to open like a lot of like dictionary, like every time, keep repeating it. Can't speak much because like all my colleagues are Thai. So I watch movies, I listen to music. I try to put myself in an environment that I can use English. And one more thing that I found thanks to P'Peachy, when you teach, you teach from the root, and then if I understand or the people understand the root, which is mostly would come from Latin. So actually, like if you understand the root, you will guess, you can anticipate, or you can know, you can grasp it more like what that word means. It's probably 100%, but it's more likely you understand the mood, the tone.
You have a clue.
Yeah, you have a clue. So I think it's pretty important that you understand the root and Latin. Like, so I would encourage people to study.
But it's not many English teacher can teach.
I know, which I personally think that they should like really focus on this Latin too.
Yeah.
If they're gonna like still like encourage everyone to study English, because if not, like you have to memorize everything, and I think it's so boring to memorize unless you're gonna sing a song.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
To sing some songs with P'Peachy back then, yeah.
But it happened to me again. It's like the past experience has actually helped me to be P'Peachy nowadays. I studied Latin in my university. That's why I know all this. So not many, in university, many people, they don't choose Latin language. It's it's one of the very crucial part of being English teacher.
To Kun Lolita, is it clear? Does it answer your question?
So I think what Kun Meta want to say is like to find more techniques of memorize small words, not only like open the dictionary, just find alternative ways to memorize words. Starting from memorize, you have to start this part. So there's so many ways, like May said, you can immerse yourself in the English speaking world, like from TV program, from music, from movie, from series, Netflix, and learn how to memorize, like with the roots of the language, the derivatives from other language, so you have a clue to guess the words easier. So something like that.
Don't get me wrong, like you still have to memorize at the beginning, because like if you come like blank, you don't know like ABCD yet, or cat or dog or anything at all, then it's gonna be like difficult for you to understand anything. So you have to have like some basics, and this basic, it's just like you have to remember. Is there any other question?
Having a good experience with language or English is so important, like you mentioned. So sometimes education can make you like hate some subject, maybe your teacher is not as good, or maybe you have like not as supportive peers. So how would you encourage like the next generation to kind of like foster a great relationship with language or any subject? Is it the attitude or the mindset, you would say?
Well, good question. I have taught so many students. The background is like they got traumatized by English. They got beaten up by English. So many of them. I have to ask them first. I have to know them first. Like, what's wrong with you? Why you feel like English, like, brutalized you or something like that, or traumatized you? And they're like, maybe because of a teacher. The teacher like embarrassed me in front of the class, or they feel like inferior in front of students, like they classmates, they're all better than them or something like that. So then I have to change their attitude. So I have to ask them like, so what's your like? What is your liking? What's your interest? What's your what do you feel good about? Not about English, other things. So some said, like one student I have been teaching for 2 years, from the guy, like, who hates English. The mother called me like, can you teach him like half an hour? Just make him like feel a little bit better with English. I said, okay. But in my mind, it's like, I never teach anyone like 30 minutes before. I normally teach like 3 hours, 4 hours, at least 2 hours. And she said, he hates English so much. I think more than 30 minutes he cannot. So let's see. Then first time I teach him is like 2 hours already. And they said, I tried to ask him like, what do you like? I like, he said he liked Korean girl group. And then, okay, what about we study their rhythms together? They have some, the Koreans, Japanese, they have like some part, English part, and then I go through it. And he, the boy, he actually likes some, history. So from the word itself, I go through the history of the words, and I integrate other subject with them. So he found that, English is much more than only language in the paper, in the book that he hated so much. It's more fun. So if somebody are really like they really hated English, that would be great to have someone lead them out of that hatred, but have to like really know them and lead them out. But if we don't have people who lead them out, so students, you have to ask yourself why you have to study English. You can run away from English, but you eventually stumble upon it. English is all around. English is around you, literally. So if you cannot really run away from it, why not face it now? Like I told you, English is not language. It's like opportunity. You know, if you have it, it will help you in the situation ahead. I don't know when, but it will. So see it as a tool to your success and learn it, embrace it. Little by little, don't have to be like, bam, English, everything. But start. Like what they said, the book with 1,000 pages, if you don't start with the first page, when will you finish? Start now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, P'Peachy. To Kun Palita, as you talk about the package, is there any package that cover applying to scholarship? Yes, it is. But I'm pretty confident that like when you apply to some certain scholarship, you would have like the end goal, and your end goal probably in one of the university, I guess. Because like even you get a GOPO or like the King Scholarship, you still need to use this scholarship to some certain university. Yes. So yes, we have the applying to scholarship. Yeah. Can like, is it clear? If it's not clear, you can elaborate on this topic. Yes. Okay. Because like for me, like if you want to apply to some certain scholarship, my team would talk with you first, like what do you really want in your life? What is your lifestyle? What do you want to study? What do you want to do after study? Like any limitation? What is your goal? And then we will figure it out through that. A lot of Thai students care about accents. How do you think this can be improved? And that is really matter. I think this one P'Peachy can answer.
What do you think? I want to know from you as well.
Honestly, it's not about like the accent, I would say. Since like I live in Moscow, I live in London, I live in Edinburgh, I live in St. Andrews, I live in Bangkok, I live in New York, I live in like Boston, I live in Philly, I live in like everywhere. If you see it, language itself is the tool that you use to communicate with people. So it's not about like what is standard. If you look into the US side, they have an American accent. If you look into like the British one, UK one, you have like British accent. But if the US and UK come and meet each other, what language or accents, what would be the best? It's no. You have to find like a common ground of it to communicate and understand each other. So for me, accent itself, it doesn't matter with me. Like the key point would be you have to communicate and you have to understand each other. And how do you think this can be improved? And that is really matter. The improve would be like you just need to communicate it clearly. The receiver would understand your message, and you would understand when the receiver communicated back. So for me, it is only that sender and receiver, and you take turn, and then you have to understand each other. I think that's it.
True. That's very key point, because like language is a tool to communicate. Just that. But yes, I agree that so many Thai students and Thai parents, actually every parents want their children to speak like in some certain accents. Well, if in terms of the language teacher, and I actually learned the accent in the school. I mean, university. It's not only one accent. May you know that in England, well, they have at least three accents like common, but they have like tons of it. Like Liverpool accent. They have like, you know, like in Thailand, we have like Suphanburi accent, we have like Southern accent, so tons of accent. But the three official one that British people use is like Queen accent first, Queen accent. Second is standard BBC accent, and third is Cockney accent. People would like everyone to have like BBC accent or maybe Queen accent, because Cockney accent is like the accent of poor people. They will not want the accent of poor people. Now they're not poor, but some of them keep the accent, like, you know, Michael Caine, the guy who plays so many movies. He used to play like the butler of Batman. What is his name again? The butler of Batman. Well, he's very famous, and he keep his Cockney accent. You know why? He's not poor. He's very rich. Michael Caine. You guys can look up, because it's where he came from. Is his root. He doesn't want to lose it. So that's what I want to tell you. Some people want to keep the accent because it's true to themselves. They want to keep it because it's their identity. But this quite, like, you know, worldly. It's quite something that people need to keep. But for Thai, I still encourage you to have some certain accent. But what's more important is not about accent, it's about the pronunciation. If you pronounce it correctly, it doesn't matter you have Thai accent, Japanese accent, Singaporean La accent, or Russian accent. Doesn't matter. People can understand you because you pronounce it correctly. So this can be improved. Improve the accent or improve the attitude. If improve the attitude, I don't think it can be improved, because people want a British or American accent all along. It will be like that. And does it really matter? To the education world, it doesn't really matter. In the education world, we stress on the pronunciation, not the accent itself. So to improve the accent is to learn phonetics, which is a very good course. I've been teaching a lot to students. If you're one of my students, I always teach you to speak correctly, because if you speak correctly, you will hear it correctly as well. So it improves your speaking and it improves your hearing as well.
I totally agree with you, because like, especially in Thai school, they don't teach this kind of pronunciation. They teach only like remember word, like memorize this kind of word, read this, like grammar structure, how to do this, but they don't teach much of like how to write beautifully or pronounce it like perfectly. That is crucial, I would say. Is there any other questions?
I had a question for P'Peachy. First of all, thank you so much for all the advices you give so far and the life experiences that you've shared, of course. So I had a question, so a little bit off topic and change from the English language. Me and also probably other participants would like to know a typical day in your life. What does it look like? What does it involve? So if you could get us through like a typical day in your life, I think that would be a lot interesting for us to know. Thank you.
A day in my life? Like
a typical day in your life, for example, you wake up, like a little routine that you may have.
Thank you.
Kind of prepare you for success and for a quick start of the day. Yep.
Okay. Thank you for asking, Shabir, right?
Yes, that's right.
Where you come from?
I'm from Afghanistan.
Oh, are you in Afghanistan right now?
No, I'm currently pursuing my undergrad degree in Bangkok, Thailand. I live in Thailand. I've been living here for the past 5 years.
Oh, that's nice. That's
you.
nice that you like being here.
Of course.
Well,
of course.
My day starting, like I will wake up every day around 6:30, and I start doing my exercise, like my gym routine, and then I Well, my life now is not typical because normally I'm on the island. Now I'm in Phuket. Phuket is an island as well, but well, my hotel is in another island. We have to go there by speedboat 30 minutes. So I'm literally islander. So I wake up and essentially no guests because of the COVID. So I kind of start my routine with my exercise, and then I have my brunch, and then I prepare for my teaching because I teach almost every day in the evening. So and along the day I will check the hotel. Now we have the hotel, we don't have guests, but we still have to work to do. The work is to upkeep it. You have to clean the room. We have to you cannot leave the room unclean for 4 months, something like that. Cannot. So I have to I check my workers, what they do daily. They will report to me, this room to this room. They do the maintenance about the painting, about the furniture, about the pumps, so now is quite not usual. So in the evening I teach, and then it's my time. I play with my dogs and go to sleep. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your response, P'Peachy.
Yeah, so we probably gonna see P'Peachy in the daily life on our
Yeah.
soon. Okay, I think we spent a lot of times on this EdTalk already, so I would like to close it for
I
now.
thought it was 1 hour.
Yeah, and then we go for almost 2 hours. Thank you everyone. Thank you, P'Peachy.
Thank you so much. I have fun. I have really have fun.
Thank you everyone. And see you on the emails, or if you have any other question to me or CIGAM or P'Peachy, you can just email us or just leave it with the CIGAM and I will ask P'Peachy to answer. So thank you very much.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye bye.